Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Perspective. We'll be talking about, of course, latest we've seen as far as the oath taking in the KP Assembly is concerned, as far as the reserved seats are concerned. The controversy, we've also seen the comments of the Election Commission on this issue, and of course, Peshawar High Court also will be talking about the ramifications of this on the overall political process of KP. And whether it will have some bearing on overall as far as other oath taking as far as the National Assembly is concerned, and overall the process is concerned. Clarification by the Peshawar High Court is expected on certain issues there. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about, of course, the challenges the government is facing to counter terrorism at this time. There are, of course, efforts underway to deal with the pressing security concerns at this time, particularly in KP also, and of course we've seen the recent incident there targeting the Chinese engineers, and of course the overall situation with regard to that a little later on. All of that today on Perspective. I have with me today Naveed Aman, who is a senior analyst. Thank you for being with us today. This is a legal question, and of course we are going to be looking at some clarity from the Supreme Court, but in a lot of cases, I'm going to include Naveed Sahab in this also, they've also been awarded to other political parties. So, do you think there's a chance that that can be overturned, or, of course it's also a legal question, but looking at the situation.
I think we need to keep in mind the statement of Afzal Marwat.
Okay.
He said that we were mistaken to join Sunni Ittehad Council, and it is admission of their mistake that they were on the wrong side to join Sunni Ittehad Council. They would have joined any other party which could qualify for the reserve seats as well. So they cannot have those reserve seats as a result of all this situation. Number one. Number two is this, that all the legal ways should be opted amicably within the parliament or within the assembly. The matters of assemblies we unnecessarily take to the High Court or the Supreme Court, and we involve them. The politicians should resolve their issues either within the assembly or within the Election Commission, because it is the mandate of Election Commission, not the Supreme Court and the High Court.
No, but isn't this also, I mean, it's not really a question, there are a lot of legal questions in this, no? In your opinion, no? That, as
I don't think. It is very clear.
You think, and of course the Election Commission has already
Yes, it is very
decided.
clear. So, Election Commission has given its verdict, and we need to follow the decision of Election Commission. And after that decision, the things should be resolved within the assembly. We need to, or the PTI need not to take that decision in Supreme Court or High Court.
Okay, fair enough. You agree, Naveed Sahab, there is, you think that of course if there are multiple issues, one can't argue with, disagree with what Niaz Sahab is saying in that regard. But of course, also the inability to have talks is perhaps now something that's dragged on too long in the political process, and now perhaps there needs to be a more a working relationship between the opposition and
right.
the government.
Absolutely.
Which can then not entail writing to letters to against the IMF program, or protesting in the way that we saw against, for example, the IMF program, things that go against the vein of economic progress and prosperity.
Absolutely right. We need more reconciliation. We cannot afford more polarization, and we need now more comfortable working relationship to move ahead, because the elections are over now. The parliament has sworn in, the cabinet is finalized, even the president has taken note. Now we need to move ahead. The governments in the provinces are also ready to move ahead to combat different challenges and issues. If we just stuck up with the mentality or the mindset that we will never have interaction with the political opponents, we cannot move ahead. Pakistan cannot move ahead. Pakistan.
On the one hand, we see this Naveed Sahab, do you agree? You think perhaps a three-way dialogue is the way forward, because of course this is a high priority for Pakistan. It's as far as ensuring that things, as far as KP is concerned, as far as the whole region, as far as security there is concerned. Of course, it's a huge issue for us, and we want to ensure that we deal with it at the top priority.
Yes, it is. It is the need of the time that we need to have trilateral dialogues. Pakistan, Afghanistan and China. But on the other hand, we need to go for hot pursuit against the terrorists. Dialogue is something else, and we need not to keep quiet. We need to be very vigilant and go for the hot pursuit of the terrorists elsewhere in KPK or in Balochistan or anywhere in the country. The most important thing is this: that China has been having very, very strong concern over the militancy and extremism in Afghanistan, which Afghans or the Taliban, they export to the neighboring countries, especially to Pakistan.
Okay.
They're comfortable with the Central Asian states, but they're not comfortable with Pakistan. They are focusing their terrorism pressure to Pakistan. China suspects that it is very much possible from Afghanistan, either Taliban or East Turkmenistan movement terrorists, they enter in Chinese border and create problem for China. And Chinese are very, very seriously concerned, having concern over the involvement or
the terrorism that's coming.
Terrorism in Xinjiang province, because a long time China has been facing trouble from East Turkmenistan in Xinjiang province. That is why they, they're not going to spare any event. Like this is Dasu event, terrorist attack, or the previous 2021 terrorist attack. They were very, very serious about the implications and about the investigations. Now, almost all the civil works on different projects, the Amir Bhasha, Dasu, and Tarbela Dam, everywhere they have stopped work. Civil work is stopped, and now they are waiting for the investigations and probing up or the outcome of this investigation. So this is a serious blow to Pakistan and serious blow to China, and we need to join hands and fight all together against the terrorists, either they are in Afghanistan or in any other part of the country or the region.
Fair enough.
Marukh, it is a regional issue. Terrorism is a regional issue, but the most important thing is this, that the clues from Moscow to Afghanistan, from Pakistan to Afghanistan, and from China to Afghanistan are the same. So all they believe that Afghanistan is exporting that terrorism in the entire region, and every country is being affected. And don't forget the role of India as well, because in India next month Modi is going for the elections, and whenever elections are very close, from India we face such sort of terrorism in Pakistan or elsewhere. So it is not ruled out.
Of course, no, not at all. And of course it's an acknowledged fact that there is always interference from that side of the border.
Yes, it is a nexus between India, Afghanistan and all these terrorist groups which are against the development of CPEC and the development of the region.
Pakistan also. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much for being with us. Naveed Aman Saab, thank you for joining us. Overall, of course, Pakistani government and all stakeholders are committed to ensuring peace in all shapes and forms, and of course we are we saw a recent reaction come out from all quarters after this very sad incident. Of course, efforts are being made to ensure that there is peace all around, and that no interference comes from across the border also, and the kind of terrorism that we've recently seen. Efforts are being made to clamp down on this terrorism. Thank you so much for joining us today on Perspective.